Hello everybody, I'm ellbristow, this is Ellitopia Gaming. Welcome back to KSP Live. Now, again, this week, unfortunately, I'm having some internet issues, which will be fixed by next week. So we will be back to a live stream for next week. But for this week, we are doing another not live episode. And we're going to carry on from where we left off last week. While I'm mentioning next week, some of you who follow me on Twitter and various different places will have noticed that we are running a prize draw during next week's live stream. The guys over at Arctic Hazard gave me an early access key for Tackday Manager, which I've been covering on my YouTube channel. That is, I'm going to be giving that early access key away in next week's live stream. There will be a link in the description of this video where you can go to join that prize draw. Alternatively, you can have a look. It's over on ellitopia.com, and there's a post over there all about the prize draw there. So get yourself entered and join us for next week's live stream, which will be a live stream, and we will draw the prize there. Now, on to this week's episode. Last week, we were having a look at putting together a space plane, or not a space plane, a plane, and it was a propeller plane, and we called it the Science Hopper. Now, we had some issues with that plane, and I think we did manage to fly it, but we didn't really get very far. It's not a very powerful craft. Basically, it wasn't ideal for what we wanted, and we're in the process of building it here for the space plane hangar. I am going to cancel that, if I can. Yes, I'm going to scrap it. There we go. We get some of our funds back because I had a better idea. It was nice. It was a nice idea for us to have a prop plane, but the parts that we've got are slightly limiting at the moment. So I've designed something else, and it's jet powered, but it's powered by two jets for two pilots. Well, not pilots, but two Kerbals, and there is a very good reason for that. We have all the various different science implements in here: the mystery goo, the magnetometer, the science junior, and the thermometer. Now, the mystery goo and the science junior normally are single-use items. Once you've used them and you've taken the science out of them, you then can't reuse them. The exception to that rule is if you take a scientist with you, a scientist Kerbal. A scientist can clean and reset the mystery goo and the science junior, which means that you can reuse them, which is great on a plane like this, apart from the fact that on a plane like this you would need a pilot, because otherwise they're ridiculously difficult to control. So I've come up with a dual cockpit design for a plane, and I have tested this off camera, and it flies pretty well. So what we would do is, unfortunately we don't have Jebediah, he is gone, but we do have Valentina and we do have Bob, a pilot and a scientist, and we can use both of those in the TwinJet 1. And this thing flies. This thing really does fly. It's only got a small amount of fuel because that's all it needs, but it's got quite a lot of control. It's quite a basic plane, really, but this design, I am quite surprised at how well this design actually flies. So we are going to build this vessel instead of the Science Hopper, and we're going to rush that through, and then we're going to take this out to do some exploration. Now, at the same time, we're going to have a look to see if there are any contracts we can pick up. We're not going to be going to space, but we're not going to ditch that just yet. I'm pretty sure there should be, let's see, orbital surface survey. Here we go. Surface survey. Magnetic field readings on the surface at alpha site, beta site, and gamma site. Now, I had a sneaky look on the map to find out where they were, and they are actually somewhere where we can get to quite easily with this plane that we've got. So we're going to give it a go. We're going to accept this contract. We have to land there, which is why I want to do it with a plane. If we have a look on the map, they are, there you go, they are pretty close. We've just got to fly over the top of the mountains and land over there. So we can pick up all the normal science there, but we'll also get extra stuff for picking those contracts up. So that is ideal, and that is going to be the main aim of this particular video. So we are going to warp to the TwinJet being completed. It should take us out to the runway. The runway is very bumpy. I think perhaps once we've picked up some funds, we will we'll have a look at upgrading the runway. There is one bug that I have spotted, and that's actually a bug in the Copernicus mod, which is bundled with New Horizons, and I've mentioned it to them on their forums, on their issue tracker, and they've accepted that it is a bug, and that is there is kind of an invisible wall where the KSC biome ends. So when you're coming in for a landing, you actually can't land back on the runway. So when we're finished, we're going to have to, we might fly back, we might not even bother, but if we do fly back, we have to land short of the runway over here somewhere, so that we don't hit that invisible wall, because it will just make us explode. So the guys who handle the Copernicus mod are going to be looking at that, so hopefully by next week, week after maybe, that will be fixed, so we'll be able to land back on the runway again, and by that time we should have an upgraded runway, which is great. We're going to have our SAS on, which we can do because we have a pilot, and we are going to put the throttle, we don't need 100% throttle with this thing, and we are going to activate the engines and make sure we don't wobble around too much. Now this thing takes off pretty quickly, like so, leaving a puff of dust behind it. And look at that. Turns nicely, very controllable, and I am very, very pleased with this design. Now we're heading over here, so let's go. Can we, oops, that wasn't what I meant to do. I don't know how to add that as a navigation point. Let's make sure we've got some level flight, we can gain some altitude. Why isn't it letting me pick these? There we go, activate navigation. There we go. Ah, so we weren't far off. There we go, heading to the mountains. And yeah, I mean this is pretty stable. Okay, it's using the SAS, but that's not using any power because the engines are recharging the electric charge. That fuel is dropping pretty quickly though, so might not have quite the range I thought it would. But that's not the end of the world. We don't want to go, the reason I'm not using full throttle, we don't want to go too fast because this, the new atmospheric model means that this thing could actually just break up under the stress of its own speed. So let's nudge up a little bit. I've got some kind of bug or beetle wandering down my wall at the moment. Hello there, little fellow. How are you? Yeah, you're not interested in talking to me. Okay, bye then. So yeah, I mean, what we can do is we can take some crew reports and things from here. Crew report 1.8 science, transmit. Need to. Sorry, I forgot we're using remote tech. I brought an aerial. Oh, which just broke off. There it goes. Okay, well, I didn't really plan for that. I didn't really think of that. Okay, we're kind of descending towards our target point now. We're almost there. So I've slowed the engines down and we're starting to descend. And hopefully we won't come in too sharp. I'm just trying to work out on the map. It's a shame you can't zoom in any nearer on this map. I'm just trying to work out where exactly we're supposed to be landing. I think it's kind of just up here somewhere. All three locations are relatively close to each other. But it's very difficult to tell. I've got a feeling we might be a bit high. Or are we? Yeah, we're entering the sector now. Okay. So, oh, and they're small, and we've left the sector. Okay, so let's circle round. That will bleed off some speed as well, hopefully, while we bleed off some altitude. Oops. Right down, entering Gamma. Leaving Gamma. Brakes. Don't have any air brakes. We're going very fast, and these brakes are not very good, evidently. Now entering Beta. Probably going to leave Beta. Okay, we've slowed right down, which is good. Are they just in a line? I think they are just all in a line. So, hopefully, let's use these engines to taxi a bit. What I'd like to do is go to Alpha first, which I think is what our navigation marker is pointing us at. Yeah, we're just leaving Beta. So let's go, hopefully, straight into Alpha. Going a bit fast, so let's slow down. That was a bit too slow, okay. The brakes do work okay when you're not going too fast. Come on, we want to be entering Alpha, please. Aha, there we go, entering sector Alpha. Let's slow down, let's not drive into a tree. Whoa, whoa. Let's turn around. Parking brakes can go on. Okay, we have arrived in sector Alpha, whichever it was, and our aim here is to open this up, which kind of moves our cockpits out of the way a little bit, but we need to get the magnetometer out. Yep. And we need to take some data from there, and that is part of that done, so we keep that. Toggle that back in. We'll have to send someone to collect that in a moment. Observe the mystery goo. Keep that. Observe the materials bay. And keep that. Now, Bob, you can go on EVA. On the top of the plane. Stand on the materials bay and you can collect that data and remove it. You can collect that data and remove it. And you can take that data. You can also restore the mystery goo and restore the Science Junior, and then we'll head down here to the, whoa, don't fall off, to the thermometer. Oops, hold on. There we go, take that data. Might as well take an EVA while you're here from Kerbin's Highlands. Great, keep that data. We want to take the crew report that we took out of this one. Was it that one? Nope. Okay. Take data. There we go. And then, can you close that? You can. Okay. Good, good. And then you can, let's see, you can do a crew report from outside. I don't think so. Store the data and board. And then do a crew report from there. Another 1.8. Keep that. Then jump back out. Take the data. Store the data. Now, if I jump you down... Oh, we can't take surface samples yet, can we? Okay, no reason for us to get down. So, you reboard. And we're ready to go. We're ready to go to Sector B. So let's set one of these. That's beta. Activate navigation. Take the brakes off. Point ourselves at the marker. And we can go and do exactly the same thing at site beta. Well, not exactly the same thing because we don't need the EVA report, but you know what I mean. Okay, going a bit fast. Whoa, 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 whoa. And that's why you don't want to be going a bit fast. That was a close call. Down this hill. And we'll be pretty much at site beta. Come on, site beta. There we go, entering site beta. Let's stop the... Well, it stopped. Okay. Must have hit a bump or something. Right, so there we go. We are there. Let's open this, which does the weird wobbly bit on the cockpits. Let's observe the mystery goo. Keep the data. The reason we're here, toggle the magnetometer. And log that data. Keep that. That's 2 missions completed. Toggle that back in. Observe the materials bay. Lovely, lovely. Log temperature from Kerbin's Highlands. Keep data. I know we don't really need all that, but in fact, yeah, we're not going to be able to reuse these more. Right, let's get Valentina out. Valentina can collect these ones. Bob will have to reset them. But Valentina can collect them because we can only store 1 of each science experiment in the cockpit, in each cockpit. So take that. And I think that's everything, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so whoop. No. Don't stand on the wings. That's not a good idea. Board. Okay. So she's got all that science data. So then, Bob, you get out and reset the experiments. can restore that and close that hatch. Restore the Science Junior, and then you can reboard, and we're ready to go again. So let's head to Gamma this time, which Gamma in Spain is a kind of supermarket for those of you who are interested. Except it's spelled G-A-M-A. It's like a small supermarket, but bigger than a convenience store. Useless Spanish Facts by ellbristow. Okay, don't want to go too fast, and we will try and nose up while we brake where possible. Little puffs of power while we head towards our destination. Oh, we're a little bit off target actually. Let's correct that. Obviously a rover would probably be a better idea for this, but this plane moves about 10 times faster than a rover, so let's slow down. We must be entering Site Gamma soon. Come on, Gamma. Come on, Gamma. Where are you? All we actually need from the Gamma site is the magnetometer, and we don't even need to collect it because it won't be worth anything. We just need to do the experiment. Slowing down a bit too much. Come on, I don't remember it being this far. Come on, Gamma, where are you? Aha, there we go. So let's nose up and brake. There we go, parking brakes on. And then this time we will, oops, not observe the materials bay. Let's open the bay, the service bay. Toggle the magnetometer, log the magnetometric data. That's completed that. We don't actually need that, we can just reset that, toggle the magnetometer back in, close the doors, and there we go, that's that contract done. So let's look at these in order. We got Alpha, 3,600 funds, 3 science, 2 reputation. The same for Beta, the same for Gamma, and then 27,000 funds and 10 reputation for completing all 3 of those. So there you go, nice little funds boost, nice little science boost, very nice little science boost if we can get this back and recover it. Question being, do we risk flying it home again? We can't activate navigation on that, can we? That's a bit of a shame. Can we set it as a target? No, doesn't look like it. Focus curbing. Okay, we're not close enough. So, well, we're going to go and take off. Let's take our brakes off, and we probably actually need to be heading. Where's the mountains from here? That way. So we're no, cut the engines. Cut the engines. Why did I go in the cockpit? Okay, so that went wrong. Oh no! Oh. Valentina survived. She's got some science. She's got one lot of the science. Really not what I wanted. We've lost Bob. And we still can't plant flags. Who's letting off fireworks? Right. Well, we've got 59 science from the mystery goo, material study, magnetometer, temperature scan, and recovery of the vessel. We got 4,497 funds back. 214,000 funds in total, thanks to the contracts that we completed. Valentina did survive, but really not the way we had planned. We have 59.2 science, so we can unlock something here. What have we got? Flight control gives us the inline cockpit. That might be a good idea if we're going to try and do more of those missions. Or general construction gives us struts, and it gives us the Kerbal attachment system container, or the Kerbal inventory system container. Or we've got advanced rocketry, which gives us the LV909, which actually is probably in the long run better, but for the moment we still kind of need to grind science. So I'm thinking maybe this one, and that actually unlocks the reflectron, so we can do some unmanned stuff, and the small reaction wheel. I'm going to go for this one, the flight control, which will take 22 days and leaves us with not very much science. But in the meantime, we are going to need to build another memorial craft. So here we are on the launch pad with the Memorium 2. Memorial 2? Memorium? What did I call it? Oh. We'll park it next to Jeb. Or next to Jeb's. Let's... this way, there we go. We'll lock them together. Although that does mean that they won't be able to get out of that cockpit. Valentina, out you come. No. Where are you going? This way? Okay, you go that way then. And switch. And Bill, hatch is obstructed, okay. Bill, out, let go, climb out. And there we go. So we completed the contract that we had just now. Is it gone? The surface survey on Kerbin. And we still have science data from space around Kerbin. Now all that means is for us to get into space and take some kind of report. So, having just unlocked the antenna that gives us, what is it, 500 kilometers range on the on our probes, we are going to try building our first probe. And to do that, we are going to, we're going to have an inline reaction wheel. We are going to have, don't want a nose cone. What do we want? Let's go for a science. No, that's going to be heavy, isn't it? It's going to need some fuel, so we'll go for one of those, I think. And the new engine that we haven't unlocked that engine yet. Right. Okay, that makes things slightly trickier. It'll have to be something like that. So let's go for a couple of mystery goos. I don't know if we really need a couple, but and I'll go for a couple of radial parachutes. Again, don't really need two, but to keep the balance, that's probably best. This thing will probably need batteries as well. 2 should be enough. We haven't unlocked any fairings yet, obviously, so that's going to be a bit tricky. However, our aim here is just to get this thing up into space, out of the atmosphere, anywhere out of the atmosphere. It will need the aerial thing that we just unlocked as well, won't it? Oh, where is that? Is that in science then? There it is, the reflectron. These things don't break under stress, unlike the one we had before. We only need one of these, so let's put that somewhere. Okay, so here we are on the launch pad with the Droid 1. Something I forgot to factor in is that we don't have access to SAS because this is not... we haven't got an SAS module on this particular droid. But we're going to try this launch without it, see if we can control it. We'll see how things go. Could be interesting. We're going to go throttle to 100%. In fact, we don't need it quite at 100% thinking about it, but we'll go at just under 100%. Let's try and launch. I'll tell you what, let's see if we can zip forward to some daylight without our battery dying. No is the answer to that. So this is going to be a nighttime launch. Let's just up the ambient light slightly so that you guys can definitely see what's going on. There we go, and well, here we go. We can't put the SAS on. We're putting our throttle to roughly where I think it needs to be, and here we go with the first launch of an unmanned Droid 1 craft. Bit of an anticlimax while the jets warm up. This thing should have enough thrust to get us off the ground. Here it goes. Let's stay vertical, please. Going to take a lot more control this time around. But we have got control surfaces and things, so it should be manoeuvrable, controllable, and whatever. And I'm not going to try for a gravity turn or anything like that. We are just going straight up. That little glitch that you just saw there, by the way, is the glitch that I was telling you about in the Copernicus mod. It's put like an invisible wall around KSC. On the way out of KSC, it just glitches a little bit like that, but on the way in, you hit it and it actually blows you up, which is not desirable particularly. This is very, very tricky to control. You can probably hear my keyboard clicks. It's going to get possibly more tricky to control once we dump off these jet engines. I'm upping our thrust. Going to absolute maximum thrust. Why are we slowing down? Why are we slowing down? That doesn't make any sense. There's no reason that we would be slowing down. Or is it just because they're losing their thrust already? Wow, okay. that didn't work. Right, well, any chance of a mystery goo reading from there? Ooh, 0.8 science. Well, the parachutes work. That was a bit of a waste of money. Ooh, nice capture of the big blue planet there. Sonna. They're off. Not quite sure where they're going. We can recover this bit. Oh, is it going to blow up as we hit the invisible wall of the Kerbal Space Center? Or are we going slow enough? No, I think we're going slow enough. Oh, no, there we go. Something collided with the invisible wall. What am I looking at? No, no. There we go. We lost the probe and one of the parachutes for no apparent reason because it collided with the invisible wall. That is an annoying bug. And that hopefully will be fixed soon. Because we're now going too fast. And this whole thing is going to probably blow up and be destroyed. It's going to land. Where's that? Is that space plane hangar just about we're going to be landing in, or are we just missing it? Just missing it. And yep, it blew up. And we can't use that because, well, it's, yeah. Bugs. I hate bugs. Apart from the one that was crawling on my wall. He was alright. So, 0.8 science gathered. Plenty of funds wasted. Wow, plenty of funds wasted. We're up to 18 science. That didn't work, full stop. So we'll come up with a slightly different design for that. I think we'll go with solid boosters rather than the jet fueled launch method. Okay, so this is Droid 2 on the launch pad. And again, it's a nighttime launch. That's a pain. But never mind. Still got no SAS. Throttle does nothing at this point, but we'll put it up to full anyway for when we do need it. And, well, here we go. Let's try and keep this thing vertical. We have a lift-off. Straight away, kind of wanting to go a little bit to the south, but we do have control over it. Possibly a little bit more control over it this time than we did with the jet-propelled alternative. There's that glitch again. Little bit of a spin, which kind of comes as a result of the 3 solid boosters configuration. Let's not get into. Oh, there we go. Switch. Come on, let's keep control of this thing. It does seem to want to spin, but we're okay. Our thrust to weight ratio is quite high. We are accelerating fast. We are going up fast. Our apoapsis is going up fast. We have communication with the Space Center still. which is great. In fact, we can afford to attempt, very tentatively, a bit of a gravity turn so that we get a little bit of distance on this launch as well. The thruster weight's way too high now. Because this thing is actually very light. See if we can pull this down a bit. See, we're definitely going, at this rate we're going to get in space high. Oh, there we go. Cut the engine, ditch that. There we go, we are in space. Let's get a mystery go from here. Keep that data. We need to return that data, but let's, I tell you what, let's use this engine. We'll push our Apo up. If I can control it. And we'll go for the in-space high, see if we've had a mystery go from there, because I can't remember. This thing is so tricky. Oh, there we go. So tricky to control. Here we go. That is outside 250, 260. So we'll cut the engines there at 270. And we can now drift up with no control. Get a nice view of the blue planet and one of its moons. Anything else we can see while we're here? No. Not that I can see. Still going to have communication with the Space Centre, hopefully, yes. Let's speed time up a little bit. Plenty of power. And this is us going outside of 250. There we go. I believe that is enough for in space high. In space high, 4.5 science. Keep that. And then we are going to be coming back down again. Whee! Now, it's just occurred to me that we didn't bring a heat shield. We do have an engine, which might be sufficient, but we do have radially attached parachutes, which may not be quite so sufficient. So let's see how we do. We can use our engines to slow us down, actually, which will help. Will have helped a bit. Here's the atmospheric effects. Fortunately, our weight balance looks like it's okay, so we're going to be held in this direction. What goes bang? Does anything go bang? No. Wow, I think we may have actually survived that. Let's get the parachutes out as quickly as possible. G-force is not being important because we haven't got any Kerbals on board, but also I don't think they do have G-force damage like you used to have with Ferrum Aerospace and Deadly Re-entry and all that. I don't think they implemented that side of it into the vanilla game, or at least not as lethally as the other mods did. That slowed us down nicely, so this is going to be a nice water landing. Come on then. Splish. Oh, too early. Here we go. Splish. There we go. Successfully recovered science and recovered the vessel from space with an unmanned craft. Perfect. Let's find the results of that. My cat is expressing his glee at our success. 28 science total, although that says 29, so you're a bit out. 172,054 funds, so I think we just about recovered the cost of that mission. 8,415, 3 science, 5 reputation. Maybe we didn't recover the cost. I can't remember what we started with before we launched it, but there we go. That's a completed mission, one that was hanging on from last week, and we've completed a survey. We've designed a plane that flies, it takes off, it lands, it doesn't turn corners on the land. So I would call that, all in all, a successful day's work, with the exception of losing Bob Kerman, which was an unfortunate side effect, let's say, of our mission. With that said, that means we're going to be looking for a new scientist. Now, we are going to be hiring a new scientist from the Kerbal building. And this is your opportunity as viewers, as subscribers, to get in on the action. Would you like one of our new Kerbal? Would you like our new Kerbal to be named after you? We can edit you into the save game so that you can be a part of our space program. If you would like to be a part of our space program, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you like this video and add a comment to let us know what you would like your Kerbal to be called. And I will then pick my favourite, and we'll add a new scientist Kerbal to our ranks, and we'll do that for future Kerbals. As we need to add Kerbals, we will name them after our viewers and after our subscribers, so that you guys get to be a little bit more of a part of this series. We also have over at patreon.com the opportunity to have your own flag added to the game. You can have a landing site or a craft or a whole mission named after you, or you can pick the name and you can send me a flag to add to that mission, and we can attach that with the flag decals mod that we're using. So if you are interested in having your own flag or your own mission, your own craft named after you, or your own landing spot named after you, then head over to patreon.com and make a donation over there, and your reward for your donation will be delivered hopefully in the next video, possibly the one after, depending on how scheduling goes, but it will definitely be added to our series. With that said, thank you for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I have been ellbristow, you have been watching Ellitopia Gaming, and I will see you next time. See you later, guys.